everybody. Welcome to ABA Inside Track, the podcast that's like reading in your car, but safer. I'm your host, Robert Perry Cruz, and with me, as always, are my fabulous co-hosts.
One last time, it's Jackie McDonald.
You just made it sound like you're never doing another one of these, Jackie.
This is my retirement. My retirement preview.
You should have told us about this before we started recording.
Just kidding. You guys are no longer my friends.
Oh, no.
Wow.
On-air breakup. It's terrible.
If only there was a way to stop this recording and start again, but we can't.
I'm just kidding.
It's just your last time going first after Rob.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And it's me, Diana Perry Cruz. Hi. We trade off year after year.
Yeah, it's a really exciting joke. Everyone loves it.
They do.
It's not a joke.
It's not a joke. No, it's not a joke. It's a fact. It's a thing you do. But this isn't a podcast about announcing orders. This is a podcast about behavior analysis and behavior analytic research, where every week we pick a topic and discuss relevant research articles, unless it's the start of a new month, in which case we take a little break, slow down a little, and preview what's to come in this month. So now we're doing our preview for December 2024. If you're listening on our Patreon feed, you are getting this at the end of November, so you're a step ahead. And if you're getting this on the free feed, don't worry, you're going to hear about what's coming out the rest of December. And that's what we'll be doing, plus some other fun little announcements. But why don't we start with the meat of the preview? Diana, what episodes do we have coming up later this month?
Sure. So for December, we have two main episodes that we will be releasing because, you know, everyone likes to take a little time off in December, enjoy the holidays, enjoy time with their families. So we have two main episodes planned for you all. The first one is titled Abelism in Schools, and we will review 3 articles related to that topic. They are Combating Abelism in Schools by Story, published in Preventing School Failure, 2007. Also, Recognizing Abelism in Educational Initiatives, Reading Between the Lines by Timberlake, published in Research in Educational Policy and Management, 2020.
Not Justin.
No, this is Maria Timberlake, for everyone's reference. And finally, Avoiding Ableist Language, Suggestions for Autism Researchers by Batema Butel, Cap, Lester, Sasson, and Hand, and that was published in Autism in Adulthood 2020. Also, in the month of December, we will be discussing artificial intelligence and ABA. We'll be joined by Dr. David Cox. We're very excited for that conversation to happen, and we'll review 2 articles in that episode. They are Starting the Conversation Around the Ethical Use of Artificial Intelligence in Applied Behavior Analysis by Jennings and Cox, published in Behavior Analysis and Practice 2024. Also, The Promises and Possibilities of Artificial Intelligence in the Delivery of Behavior Analytics Services by Cox and Jennings, and published in Behavior Analysis and Practice 2024.
I'm really disappointed in that episode. I was really pushing for an ABA in 3.5-inch floppies, but I was overruled. We did AI.
Yeah.
Trying to be modern and hip.
Bringing it up to speed. And then since it is, like I said, kind of a shorter month in terms of full-length episodes, we have 2 bonuses for you listeners that will be coming out presumably in the month of December. That's the plan, at least. First one is recording. Do you call it footage if it's audio footage?
We could call it that.
I'm just curious. What's the correct term?
It's street audio.
Oh, no, that's terrible. Okay, we have street audio from the UCP Compassionate Care Conference poster session that Rob recorded this July. You get to listen in on lots of different folks who are presenting posters and the up-and-coming research that they were doing. So you get that as a bonus. And then, as always, we are joined by Matt Chikoria of the Behavioral Observations podcast to do a year-end review. So you can look forward to hearing about those in the month of December.
Mm-hmm.
Should we also talk about our upcoming plans for our 300th episode?
We can do that. Let's do that a little later, though, because let's do it a little bit.
Okay.
But
okay. That's in general announcements category?
The general announcements.
Okay, then this concludes my section of scheduling.
Well, in terms of scheduling, if you're saying, like, I love the bonuses, I love having extra stuff to do, but if you're like, but I got a long drive, maybe visiting family in the holidays, well, if you have not heard it already, our fall book club would have just come out, possibly last week looking at our recording schedule where we reviewed Dr. Susan Schneider's The Science of Consequences. So if you are a patron at the $10 and up level, you have that full audio plus 2 CEs for listening to the episode. If you are not a patron, you'll have a little preview of it, but I bet it's going to be enough to say, you know what, I got to get in on this book club stuff. So you'll have a super long podcast you can listen to. And we're not sure if this is already going to be out yet or if it's coming out this month. But we did, right before we started recording, get an email from Dr. Schneider saying that she would love to chat with us. I didn't see the email yet. Diana saw it.
It did say that.
Did say love? Oh, good. I don't want to overhype her,
I think so.
her interest in talking with us. She seems like the person who would write love, but I don't want to assume. But good. Would love to chat and to talk about the book and a lot
She's interested.
Oh,
at
good.
least.
She's interested.
We'll say that.
She's interested in talking about the book as well as her current work. She does a lot of work now on climate change. So will that be out by now? We're not sure yet. We literally just got the email before we started recording, but we're going to have a little extra time with Dr. Schneider. If we get it done in time, it might even be a part of that book club discussion. But if not, we'll put it out on a separate episode in the feed for everyone to hear. So that's a little extra something. So if you're saying, I don't know if I get enough hours of ABA Inside Track, don't you fear. You have plenty of us to listen to. And with our preview out of the way, let's move into the errata section of the show where we talk about everything else, general goings on, mistakes, emails, all that good stuff. The first thing I know I'd like to bring up is if you are not aware, we're moving into the winter. We should know that because it's December. Well,
you may have noticed.
You might live somewhere where it is not currently winter, but for us, it is going to be the winter, which means we will be putting out a poll for patrons at any level, free and above, for our winter listener choice episode. Every season, we do a poll and listeners can choose from a variety of topics that we put out. And whichever topic wins is the one we do. We do a little extra. We do a behind the scenes video. You get a free code if you are a patron at the $5 and up level for a free CE. But it's really just a chance for us to throw out some ideas that we thought might be fun and to see which one y'all want to hear. But you can only vote if you are subscribed at the Patreon or patreon.com/ABA Inside Track. But again, any level, you can even go at the free level. You'll still be able to vote. And then that episode comes out for everybody, but our patrons get it a little bit sooner. So we've got 3 options that we all put. We won't say who picked what topic. Unlike Grab Bag, they're not often as easy to choose. So I bet it was Jackie, or I bet it was Rob. But we have 3 options. One is factors influencing efficiency of acquisition. So basically articles that look at how come sometimes we can teach certain skills really, really quickly, and other times we cannot. And how do we make it so that learning always happens quickly, or at least efficiently? So that's one of our topics. The second possible topic will be improving data collection in a human services organization. We all know how to take data. And I know personally, I'm great when it comes to individual data. You know where I can't take data? When there's more than one person at a time. So I really am excited about this topic. Is it the one I picked, or is it just one I'm excited about, or both? But this will kind of talk about big organizations and how they collect data, use data. That's also going to be a topic that we talk about when we discuss AI with Dr. David Cox. But this will be kind of more of a how-to follow-up. And speaking of how-tos, our third topic is going to be how to do token economies and procedural integrities. There were some recent articles that sort of laid out, hey, do you want to do a token economy? Here are the basic steps that you can use, and some recent research on token economies, and then the same for procedural integrity, which seems neat because as much as we talk about how we can update many of these technologies, sometimes it's nice when someone takes all the information that's been released in, say, a decade or so and smooshes it down into a good little how-to article. It just gives everyone a chance to recenter their practice. So that'll be the third option, how-to token economies and procedural integrity. So we will have those posted on our Patreon page, patreon.com/ABA Inside Track. That will probably be coming out right the weekend. So if you're getting this on the Patreon feed, you have a couple days and it'll be posted. If you're getting this on the free feed, you have a few more days before it will close. So it sort of hits that sweet spot in between. So head over there and vote so we know which one the winner will be. All right, so that's one other thing coming up. What else do we have coming up? Some other big exciting things.
I mean, we are rounding the corner to our 300th episode.
Woo.
And so we have been sitting here wondering how we should commemorate this apocalyptic time.
Apocalyptic.
No, maybe that's not the word I'm looking for. But it's big. It's like apocalyptic, but better.
Well, yeah, but that's a bad thing.
The good version of an apocalypse?
Yeah, it's the good version of apocalyptic.
A fun apocalypse.
From apocalypse. Put them together.
Okay.
And we have decided that we are going to throw a party for ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's going to be in January. And we'll tell you a little bit more right now. It's going to be January 9th from 5 to 8 p.m. at Regis College. Regis, sponsored by Regis College.
Woo-woo.
And we are going to have a live episode where people can come, be part of the episode, do some fun stuff for us in the beginning, like spaghetti and slide decks.
Fun stuff for us. Now, we'll do all the fun stuff. You just have to be there.
You just have to come. And so we're going to be posting some links on all of the social medias so that you can RSVP and let us know if you want to come. And it'll be really fun.
Yeah. And the topic is, we went back and forth with a lot of topics, and we decided, you know what? If we're going to say people should come, just put it in the RSVP, what you want us to talk about, and we'll close that off. Again, these are just going to be coming out probably another week or so, the invites, but write whatever you want. And that's the topic we will do for the big...
It should be related to behavior analysis.
Yeah, it has to be related to behavior analysis, or we will reject it. Not that we wouldn't want to talk about it, but that's sort of the gist of the show. And that will be number 300. We'll have more to say about that and the January preview as well. Wow, they said it couldn't be done.
January 9th.
January 9th. So that's still a little bit of a ways away, but keep an eye on our socials. Keep an eye on your inbox. And speaking of checking your inbox, we have another little fun idea that we're unveiling for 2025 that we want to give you a little information on.
Yeah, we are going to have an ABA Inside Track newsletter that will come to your email, to your lovely email inbox once a month. It'll be like a preview for words. We will tell you what articles that we are reading for the month. We will tell you what we're reading on the side for fun, behavior analytically, mostly. We'll tell you some hot topics. We'll tell you what we think is going on in behavior analysis for that month. We'll give you a little never before seen words about ourselves. And yeah, I can't wait to do that. And we'll also have something on the medias for you to sign up for those. Yeah, that'll just be fun.
Yeah. And we'll keep talking about it.
It'll be a love letter. It'll be a love letter from me to you.
Yeah.
Oh, how sweet.
Yeah.
All right. So that's some of the excitement coming up in 2025. And now, Diana, you have said before we started recording, even though we call this section errata, we don't always have an errata in terms of something that we made a mistake on, but you are errataing yourself.
Yes, I did want to errata myself. So in an episode, and it's a future errata because the episode hasn't come out yet, but we have...
Way to get ahead of it.
Behind the scenes, we've already recorded the Abelism in Schools episode. And during that episode, I was like, discrimination, against all kinds of people, like racism and ageism and whatever it's called when it's genderism. 2 days later, I woke up and I was like, sexism. It's called sexism.
Yeah.
And I could not remember that word.
Well, none of us could.
Right?
Because none of us
my brain is shorting out, perhaps, because that's a pretty common word and one that we talk about in a lot of contexts. So I don't know what happened there, but if you listen to that episode and you're like, Diana, it's sexism, I know that now.
I want to say we had some opening spiel. We had all had to do something that day, and I believe we started by saying we are actually physically exhausted.
We went on a hike, I think.
Was that the hike time? We had like 2 episodes in a row. It was like we just spent 4 hours doing something tiring.
We did an overnight or something.
Oh, it was the overnight. Yeah, so we've done a lot of things in recent weekends. Right before we record, we've had some like long activities. So I don't think you should beat yourself up because I honestly don't remember that we've recorded a podcast in the past few weekends.
Piggybacking on that, when we're talking about words, in a long lost episode, I think it was a last year episode, a listener wrote in and said that she was listening to the episode. It's on goal setting. And she said that we were talking about the word stan. And stan is a conglomeration of fan and stalker. And we didn't know what it was. And so now if everyone wants to know.
I always thought it was a reference to the Eminem song Stan.
Yeah, you did. And that's what she said. She said, no, it's not that. It's fan and stalker.
What is she, an etymologist of words?
I think it makes more sense than people knowing the NMM song Stan.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I wanted to say that because Diana couldn't remember what that was, and we didn't know what Stan meant, and now we do.
Oh. Okie dokie.
So thanks, listener, for writing us a long time ago. And then I found the email, and then I was remembered. Then I remembered that I never told anyone.
Okay, so
Nice.
There you go. It cued an errata of your very, very own. Oh, wow. I think we've covered most everything. I know, speaking of things that might go in the newsletter, we finished up reading The Science of Consequences. I like to get started on the next book in the series because I always like to be very, very ahead in prep. But I actually have been rereading a book on motivational interviewing, which has been very, very helpful for doing a lot of consulting and getting people to discuss their willingness to change and talk to them about change. So for folks who, often we do a lot of episodes where we talk about creating meaningful, compassionate procedures, but even when you feel you're doing all of the best work you can in that area, sometimes you do need something a little extra. And I think motivational interviewing is something very interesting. There was one of the talks at the Stone Soup conference. Oh, did we mention Stone Soup? That was just last month. So it's been a little while.
No, it's been 2 months.
It's been 2 months. I'm
Because
losing
it's
track of
December.
time. That's right. But one of the
Great conference.
One of the presentations there did talk about the idea of why don't we do more with motivational interviewing as a field. So hint, hint, that's probably a topic we'll be doing at some point. But also been looking at a book on anxiety, which has been interesting. That's more for education and not always my favorite topic to discuss because there's a lot of neurology talk. And if I have to hear anyone talk about metaphors of brains, that always sort of irks me a little bit because I want to say, that's not how brains work. You're oversimplifying the human brain. But in any case, those are some of the other things going on. Do y'all have any other non-podcast related readings you've been engaged with?
Yes, I am reading a book called Inclusive Teaching, which looks at ensuring that you're engaging in culturally responsive practice in the college classroom. And it's really good.
I'm just reading smutty books that you don't need to know about.
I mean, I'm reading that too as well, Jack. I just didn't bring them up
Just
right now.
saying. Keep your work life and your
Smutty
personal
Star
life
Wars.
separate.
Smutty Star Wars.
I don't know what you read, Rob.
I don't read smutty Star Wars. I just read classy Star Wars. I'm reading some Stephen King right now, if you must know, Diana.
Mm-hmm.
And a book on the history of Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh my God. Good for you.
I got lots of books. I'm always reading something. All right. Well, speaking of lots of reading, we got to find some time for all that reading. So we're going to wrap up this month's preview. Next month's going to be even more exciting. We'll be talking more about our 300th episode live recording, our newsletter coming out, as well as the results. No, we won't have the results of our poll yet, but we'll be bringing up our poll again because we really want people to be putting in their 2 cents about those listener choice episodes. Oh, no, we will be talking about our poll because it's already the winter.
I don't know.
I'm losing track of
lost
time.
track.
I've come unstuck in time. I am much like, what's his face from Slaughterhouse-5. I don't remember his name. The main character. He becomes
I don't
unstuck
remember
in
his
time.
name either, yeah.
Yeah, I'm him.
That guy?
What month? Yeah. What month is it truly? In any case, we'll have the results of the poll, so you'll know what the listener choice episode is on. We'll have all sorts of big, exciting things as we get ready for episode 300. But in the meantime, we've got some fun episodes to tide you over on, this season of mini holidays. But we'll start off with that next week with the first fun-filled December 2024 episode. But until then, keep responding. Bye.
Bye.